5, that is the determination of breakdown strength of liquid insulating material. Sir is with us in this demonstration class. So I request sir to say a few introductory words before starting the experiment.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yesterday, we have showed a demonstration of how we determine the breakdown strength of solid insulating material. By the way, let me tell you, students, that we generally use three different types of insulating material. One is solid, then the second one, very important, is the liquid insulating material. And the third one, which we hardly consider, is gaseous insulating material. Now, I don't know whether you realize it or not. Which one is the most common insulating material in the world? Any student can say? Most commonly,
Air.
yes,
Yes.
exactly. Excellent answer. It's the air. Because this is something we very often miss it. We talk about big insulating material, but the most common insulating material is air. And thank God that Mother Nature has given us this insulating material, and that too free of cost. Just think of it, if air is not an insulating material, what would have happened? No electrical system would have worked. Just think of the transmission line, 3 wires running. Now, if air is not insulating, there would have been no such transmission line. There would have been direct short circuit. You are sitting in front of your table or wherever, then there is a plug point on the wall. Now, if there is, air is not insulating, then what would have happened? Now, just think of it that such an important insulating medium is around us, but we hardly take it as an important insulating medium. But that's one of the most important insulating medium. Of course, there are other gases. But today we will not go into the gas, we will go into the liquid insulating medium. And this is primarily used in equipment. In general, high voltage equipment. And most commonly used liquid insulating medium is known as transformer oil. Now, as you can see by the name itself, that since it is mainly used in transformer, it is called transformer oil. But it's not actually transformer oil, it's a mineral oil. And it will be explained by my colleagues that from where it is obtained, how it is obtained, what are the properties. Because if we consider an insulating material, just don't think that breakdown strength is all important. There are other properties which are equally important. For example, take the case of any equipment, say transformer. We have a winding inside. Then we have the insulation, mainly oil, paper of course. Then we have a metallic tank and then air. Now that's fine, but think about it that within that machine, when that machine is working, then there will be heat generated. Where it will be generated? Sorry, you have not heard about something, right? Because my mic suddenly got muted.
Again, your mic is
Sir, your
muted,
mic
sir. We
got
could not.
muted, sir.
Minmoy,
Your
stop
mic is
muting sir's mic.
Putting it on, then again it is getting muted.
Yes, sir. One of the students is muting your mic. That's right, sir.
Yeah, that's why I suddenly saw my mic muted. Yeah, anyway, I mean, this is not the way to do it. Anyway, now what I don't know what you missed, but still I just slightly go back and again repeat what I said, that uh, in a machine, typically we have a winding, then we have the insulation, and then some sort of outer cover. Say transformer, we have a tank, motor, we have the outer cover. Now, in that machine, generally heat is generated when it is working because of the flow of current and because of the joule sitting. Now that heat has to be properly dissipated, otherwise the machine will get very hot and its life will be very reduced. But now if that heat has to be dissipated, that has to be dissipated to the atmosphere. But then between the winding and the atmosphere, we have the insulation. So therefore, the thermal property of the insulating material, primarily the thermal conductivity, is so important that it is equally important as it is the breakdown strength. Because if an insulating material cannot conduct heat, then the winding will become extremely hot. So therefore, there are many other properties of insulating material we have to consider very seriously. These are physical properties, not electrical properties, but still they are very important. So that will be explained to you in this experiment or demonstration, whatever you call. And then how do we measure the breakdown strength of the liquid? Because yesterday you have seen the um, solid insulating material. We cannot follow the same procedure for liquid. So what is the procedure to be followed? That will be explained. And as you have seen yesterday, it will be explained through some software as well as the videos. And as rightly pointed out yesterday in the demonstration, that everything we do, we have to follow certain standards. This is so important for engineering students that please remember, whatever you do, you write a software, you manufacture a product, or you do some sales marketing, whatever you do, without standards, you can't do anything. Say if you are trying to develop something within India and you are trying to sell it to somebody, then buyer will ask that whether your product is following the Indian standard. So you have to test and say that yes, it follows Indian standard. Then only the buyer will buy it, otherwise not. Now, if the same product, if you want to sell it to, say, Australia, then they will not say that whether it follows Indian standard. They will say whether it will follow the international standard. Then you have to test and prove that yes, it follows the international standard. So without following the standard, an engineer cannot do anything. As I repeatedly say that our job is engineering. Of course, it is based on science, but we are not scientists. See, engineer's job is to make things happen, do things. You write a 2000 line code. Say you are a software engineer. And when you write, typically my generation people, we think about writing on paper. So I write a 2000 line code, and after writing that, if that code doesn't work, then jokingly I always say that that paper is as good as toilet paper. If it doesn't work, then don't write that code. It has to work. You are working in a company, some machine is now not working, and you are responsible for that. And if you say to your boss that, sir, I will study this next 2 days and then I will tell you what to do, your job will be gone. So we, the engineers, have a big responsibility to do something. End of the day, it has to be implemented. And for that implementation, that standards comes to our help, because the standards gives us certain procedures, certain ways and means how to do it. So that will be explained. So with this, Now I request my colleagues to start the demonstration. First, I think to start a little bit theoretical part on transformer oil. I don't know, have anybody seen transformer oil? Any student? I think 110 students are present.
Yes, sir.
Anybody? Where
Yes,
have
sir.
you seen? Where have you seen, Rohit?
Sir, in first year, actually, we had gone for a training in the
Where?
transform company, L&S Private Limited.
Okay, so you have seen that. Very good. So you will understand this much better. Anybody else have seen anything, any transformer oil anywhere? No. See, that is something very important, I tell you. I always tell another important thing jokingly to all my previous students from first year onwards that, see, you go, say, for example, you go to market to buy a fish, and from your family, they have told you that you go and buy a Hilsha fish, and you don't know how a Hilsha fish looks like. Then that fish seller will sell you anything that this is Hilsa fish, and you will buy and come back. So first thing about anything is that you have to know how does it look. I mean, this is something we really ignore. We talk about a lot of properties and maybe a lot of theories of this that, but then when that is in front of me, I don't know whether this is what I have studied. I have seen so many such examples that when something is there on my table and I ask that please tell what is this, can't answer. But then if I say this is this, then they will tell me a lot of things. Oh, this is used for this is the property. Now that's a very big difference in real life. It is when you are a student, it is fine. But in real life, it makes a big difference. So always, whatever you do, always try to identify it from its look and feel. So that also will be given in this demonstration, that look and feel factor. So my colleagues will start. So I guess Dr. Vishendu will start, or who will start?
Sir, Professor Chatterjee will start the
Okay, so
demonstration.
then
Thank you,
let us.
sir, for your introductory words.
Let us start then.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Shobhan. Okay, first I will share my presentation. Whether it is visible.
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay. So as introduced by sir and Professor Shobhan Dalai, we are into the experiment number 5, that is determination of breakdown strength of liquid insulating material. Now, yesterday we have studied about solid insulating material. Mainly you have seen the paper and the enamel, and the counterpart of paper, as yesterday we have already demonstrated that it should be impregnated with oil or liquid insulating material to have the proper insulation. Now we will study that liquid part or the oil part. What are the objectives? As sir has told you, we will have to follow certain standards. The IS 335 will tell you the various properties of insulating oil, and to carry out electric strength test on a sample of oil according to the another standard IS 6792. So at first we will start from the very basics, that what is an insulating oil, how it is manufactured. Surprisingly, you will be knowing that this insulating oil is a complex mixture of various hydrocarbons, and it is obtained from the same process from fractional distillation of crude petroleum, that the very oil we use from the petroleum product is very common is our petrol, diesel that we use in car. And from the same petroleum product, we are manufacturing the transformer oil, but there will be a very much what I call is hell and heaven difference, because these mineral oils that you use in cars are combustible and is used for running the engine. But can you think, if this oil is used in transformers, then the whole transformer will explode within no time. So see, we are gathering from the same manufacturing process, but the properties entirely differs from one another. So what are the uses of insulating oil? The main use is in oil field transformers. Sir has demonstrated there are huge transformers in order of 500 MVA, 1000 MVA, huge transformers that are filled with oil, and that oil is the insulating oil. What oil serves? Not only insulation, but since it is a liquid, circulating current can flow, and this oil can be used for heat dissipation purposes. For bigger structure, large structure, special oil pumps are necessary to circulate the oil. Not only insulation, but also for the good dissipation of heat, because this winding generate very large amount of heat, and this, if it is not dissipated, then the transformer will get damaged. And what we ignore is the another point that is written in the as the third point. Suppose this tank is the transformer tank. It is sealed in all respect, because inside there is the high voltage windings and oil that is to be separated from the atmosphere. How it is separated? By a sealed tank. Now, how do you diagnose the condition of the oil? That becomes very difficult. This you can easily, what I tell, you can compare with us. We do our blood test, and from the blood test we can determine some health condition. Exactly that is equivalent to the transformer, where in the bottom side there is a small drain valve, and with the help of that valve, some part of oil, a very little part of oil is taken outside and is tested to know the condition of the transformer in service. How? We will see now. First, as Sir has told you, you must know how the oil looks like. It is very important. Otherwise, you cannot come into any inference whether the oil is good or bad, or what happens during service. In the left side that you have seen, it is the new oil just produced from the petrochemical industry. It is the new oil that is obtained. How it looks? If it is a good quality oil, it will exactly look like water. Almost no color and no odor. Nothing. And even what is interesting, if you touch this oil and if you compare with your cooking oil, this oil, you will feel that it is non-oily. Because this oil, I repeat again, this oil has to be a special property that this oil should impregnate into the pores of the paper. So it must be very light, so that easy impregnation is done within the insulating paper or the craft paper. That makes the oil to feel very light and non-oily. This is the beginning. With use, you can see the color gradually darkens, and after a quite amount of use, the oil darkens like a dark coffee color, and the transparency is also lost. It is very much opaque. So can you now distinguish if you find from the oil drain valve, I go back, suppose you don't know the condition of this transformer. You take a little amount of oil and find the oil is like the right hand side. Now what will be your inference? Yes, the transformer oil is not in a good shape, and it will affect the overall transformer performance. So that is why you need to know the physical appearance of the oil. In the lab, we are not in a position to show you practically now, but if you come in the lab later, we can show you a good and a bad transformer oil. Now another important point is what is called the sludge in transformer oil. Oil, what is there in transformer? A heating part that is in the winding and the circulating oil. Now what happens? Oil, you cannot make the transformer totally sealed and isolated with atmospheric oxygen. Some part of oxygen will always remain in transformer. On reaction with this atmospheric oxygen forms acid, because oil is a hydrocarbon, and oxidation of hydrocarbon leads to acids. What happens? Now acid has a peculiar property. I think some of you have read in chemistry that acid is a catalyst in polymerization reactions. Especially, I can give you a very common example of our silicon rubber. Silicon rubber is sold in a adhesive container, and with reaction with acetic acid, it forms the polymerization and forms a rubber-like structure, what is called hardening. Similar thing happens here also. The hydrocarbon is a liquid and it must flow in the transformer, but acid catalyzes this polymerization, and polymer means some cross-linking and converting to resin type structure, which is viscous, thick, and comes into some solid flakes in oil. The color is thick browns, the color is brown and the consistency is thick. It travels in the transformer with oil, circulates with the oil. Now this sludge, what happens? By circulation, settles and forms a coatings on the winding of the transformer. Now what happens? If a plastic type or a resin type thing sits on the winding, it will insulate the oil and it will act as a barrier, and the oil cannot touch the winding or circulate through the winding. The winding will get heated up, and ultimately, due to running at elevated temperature of the winding, will cause damage to the winding. So this acid, formation of acid, is to be controlled by any means. We cannot allow it to go on. See how much damage is caused due to this formation of sludge, and the winding due to heat is charred inside a transformer. If you visit a transformer company in future, they can show you some the transformers that came to repair and the damage caused inside the transformer. Now, so the oil needs to be checked. It is necessary to check the condition of oil before it can be further used. But again, like our blood test, no single test is there which can give every information that, okay, from top to bottom, the transformer is all right. It is impossible. There are chemical properties, there are physical properties, several things. Each test, it is written here, is useful for a specific purpose. Now, for field engineers, I cannot test all the tests at all times. It is not possible. the electric strength test is usually performed. This is a very important test and will be explained in detail by Professor Shobhan Dalai. Now, the electric strength of oil needs to be checked at a regular interval during service. This is the main test that we do while the transformer is in service, because the objective behind that is the oil should serve, the main purpose of oil is the insulation, and the electric strength test will determine whether the quality of insulation is there or it is slowly degrading. If the oil cannot withstand sufficient voltage, 1 minute, one is trying to enter. Okay, now now the now the electric strength of oil needs to be checked at a regular interval during service to ensure that the insulation is okay. On use, the breakdown voltage will gradually fall. First, let us go to the standard of IS 335, which determines several properties of oil. I think in your material class you have read this in details. Just I will have a recapitulation before we start our experiment. First, it defines various terminologies. Again, I repeat the same thing, the terminologies and their definitions must follow a standard, and we will determine whether the properties are adhering to the standard or not. If it is okay, then we will pass the oil, otherwise the oil will fail the test. These are the things, the flash point, pour point, these are the physical properties. Total acidity is a chemical property. Dielectric dissipation factor and electric strength are the electrical properties. Look here very carefully, this electric strength compared to yesterday paper experiment, this strength is directly related to our breakdown voltage, not expressed in volt per meter unit. This is the difference that is clearly stated in IS 335, that we will perform this electric strength test, but this strength will be used with the term of only breakdown voltage, kVRMS. We will leave that. We will not divide by the distance. This point is very important to remember. Now go to the points. The flash point is the physical properties, falls under the physical property, and the temperature at which the oil gives so much vapor that this vapor when mixed with air forms ignitable mixture and gives a momentary flash. Not totally fire, but a momentary flash which is very near to a hazard level of the transformer. And on application of a small pilot flame, under the prescribed condition of test. This typical value is 140 degree Celsius. What is the significance? It defines the upper limit up to which the transformer can be operated. To prevent fire hazard, the transformer should be shut down when temperature reaches near flash point. This is a safety measure. How do you measure? Each and every transformer has a temperature indicator with it, and from this indicator you will notice where the needle goes and the temperature at which the instrument is operating, the machine is operating. Next, the pour point, it is just the reverse of flash point. It determines the lower point. The lowest temperature expressed as a, important, as a multiple of 3 degrees Celsius. I will tell you later, at which the oil is observed to flow when cooled and examined under prescribed conditions. Typical value minus 6 degree Celsius. At 6 degree, the oil is observed to flow. Just it flows. What is the significance? Now tell me, this is a huge transformer that you have seen. I have already shown the picture. Here was one picture, this one. This huge transformer, if I fill the oil up to the brim totally and transfer it, in your common sense, you can see the oil can spill. So before transporting, some oil is removed and the rest oil is filled after the transformer is transported. Now suppose in a very cold region like Kashmir, we want to pour the oil in the transformer during commissioning. What will happen? If the temperature is below pour point, it will be solid and you need heating arrangement. So here is the significance. First, to fill the transformer, or in the case the transformer is already there, to start, the heating arrangement should be kept according to the pour point. If the oil is frozen, you cannot start. You will have to heat the oil until it becomes liquid. Then the heating of the transformer itself will maintain everything. Now comes the important point. It's a multiple of 3 degree. See, at flash point it was no problem because 140 degree can be directly indicated by the meter. In the case of pour point, it is the viscosity of the oil that changes very gradually. Now, unless you separate or segregate, because suppose at -6 degree, -6.1 degree, -6.2 degree, whether it is viscous or liquid, we cannot come to a common inference. But we are abiding by the standards. Now what is the problem? We must come to a unanimous conclusion that yes, the oil is liquid, it can be poured, or the oil is solid. There is no such intermediate stage. To separate this, to make it distinctly separated, we are making as a multiple of 3 degrees Celsius. Now comes the chemical property of total acidity. It is expressed as
repeat the multiple of 3 again?
Hello, is somebody telling any question?
Yes, sir.
I cannot hear it. Can you tell little louder?
Sir, can you please repeat the multiple of 3 again?
Yes, it is easier. See here, suppose the viscosity. Did you see butter in your refrigerator? When you see the butter in your refrigerator and bring it to your table, the viscosity of the butter changes gradually. And can you tell suddenly the butter has gone liquid, and when you put it in refrigerator, suddenly it will become solid? It is not possible. It will change gradually. This part, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If it changes gradually, then how I come to a standard that at this -6 degree it will be liquid and -6.1 degree it will be solid? It will not change that sharp. So at pour point, what is the definition? See, at which the oil is observed to flow, just it is liquid. So no problem that at -6 degree the oil is just liquid. But when it is solid, if you take it -6.1 or 6.2, it will be problematic. But if you add the multiple of 3 degree with 6, then there will be a distinct difference of temperature at which you will note and you will see the oil is solid. So between solid and liquid, no temperature zone will exist to record. So you are recording at a temperature where it is solid, at a temperature you are recording where it is liquid. So there will be a unanimous conclusion that yes, the oil is either solid or liquid. To distinguish between that, it is expressed as a multiple of 3 degrees Celsius. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Oh, okay. Now let us proceed. Now the total acidity comes to chemical, under chemical property. It is here, that is similar to the experiment we have done in chemistry class, that the burette, and in the beaker we will put the oil. The typical endpoint indicator may be the phenolphthalein for acid base reaction, and we will put the oil, and per gram of oil 0.03 milligram of KOH must neutralize, otherwise the acidity has increased in the oil, which will again, I repeat, will catalyze the oxidation reaction and polymerize the oil to form the sludge, or even the acidity may wear out the conductors. So it is written here, acid catalyzes formation of sludge, wears away conductors and gradually ruins a transformer. So this is the final limit. Next comes the electrical properties, of which you have read the dielectric dissipation factor. This means if you place the oil as a dielectric between two electrodes and make it as a capacitor and just pass the current, what you expect? The current will lead the voltage by 90 degree for pure capacitance. But if the oil is not ideal and oil is having losses inside it, the current will be in phase, will tend to go in phase with the voltage, like resistive loss. Because how do you simulate a physical or practical loss in a system? It is not inductive, it is not capacitive. Then a practical loss that can be measured by I square R term means it can be simulated by resistance. But mind here, there is no resistance inside here. This loss entirely appears due to the internal polarization process. You will learn it later inside the oil. The frictional losses that are taking place inside the oil. What is the consequence? If you find the capacitive current is lagging from 90 degree, the angle by which it lags is called the delta, or the loss angle, and from which tan of this angle delta gives you the dielectric dissipation factor. Can you see how much it is allowed? Only 0.002, even at this high temperature of 90 degrees Celsius, where it is prone to much loss than our ordinary room temperature. So the allowable limit is very strict. The oil must be almost pure capacitive in nature. So the significance, the property directly relates to degradation of oil and runs the transformer hotter, because oil itself gets heated up. If oil itself is heated, then it will, the heat from the winding will not be dissipated easily, because there will be a very low difference in temperature gradient, and that is why the system runs hotter and gradually the oil degrades very quickly. Now comes the electric strength. This experiment we will do, the voltage at which the oil breaks down when subjected to AC electric field. Typical values between 30 kV to 60 kV. 60 kV is a good oil. 30 kV, the oil has gone to its lowest, or it is deteriorated to its extreme negative end. And significance is simple test to determine whether the oil needs filtering or treatment or replacement. Now we go to IS 6792. IS 6792 tells how you will determine the electric strength for insulating oil. By this standard, we will do that. The test method comprises subjecting the oil in a specific apparatus. You cannot do it, again it is a standard, you cannot do it in your arbitrary way. So again, like paper, an AC electric field is applied, continuously increasing voltage till the oil breaks down. We will note that. See here how the test apparatus looks like. It is a glass apparatus. Please remember, this is a glass apparatus with two electrodes fixed inside the glass and has a specific dimension. See, the oil is subjected between two sphere gaps spaced by 2.5 millimeter, and these distances all diameter is 12.5 millimeter, and all the distances are fixed. Whether you test here or test in Kanyakumari, you will have to test in a specific apparatus so that the result is valid throughout India, in fact throughout the world. So with this, you will start the experiment. I request Professor Shobhan Dolai to take over from me. And
Thank you, Professor Chatterjee.
thank you.
I think slide is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So just what we showed to you in the yesterday, so that similar demonstration app, first we will show you the demonstration app. So before going to the demonstration app, this is the preliminary characteristics of the demonstration tab. That tab having 4 button, okay, 4 tabs. First live demonstration, that is the first tab contain that schematic of the oil test set. So the schematic of the oil test set, that is equivalent to this. This is the modified one, and just you see in this schematic there are 2 parallel circuits are there, 2 parallel circuits in that sense. This marked portion is basically called the power port circuit, and that bottom portion is basically called the control circuit of this particular power circuit. And just listen, sir told you that maximum dielectric strength of the transformer oil, it can goes up to 60 kV. So in that transformer oil test set, just in yesterday also Professor Chakraborty mentioned that this is just we are generating AC high voltage. So that component which is required for high voltage generation from the domestic voltage, that is only available, or most commonly available equipment is transformer. So this one is high voltage testing transformer. That high voltage testing transformer, that it is rated 230 volt by 100 kV. So maximum we can get 100 kV. So that transformer is basically fed from the a motorized variac. From this motorized variac, just you for simplicity think about that all the contacts are closed, and if you gradually increase the voltage, and that voltage is basically fed to the primary of the testing transformer, so gradually that voltage is increases, and corresponding according to the number of turns, that voltage will be amplified in the secondary portions. And we have to place, or we have to connect the test cell, whatever sir showed you here, that test set. This is the point where high voltage transformer output is connected like that. Okay, so that test setup, these 2 end is basically connected to the high voltage transformer output, and at certain voltage, that gap breaks, and automatically this power circuit will be de-energized, because in this circuit one overcurrent relay is there. When the gap breaks, or when the oil medium breaks, so during that time overcurrent relay sends the huge current, and if the current flowing through the circuit is more than the specified value of the current relay, this circuit will be automatically trip in that way that normally this switch is closed, and after sensing that higher current, automatically this switch is open. If this switch is open, then control circuit will be de-energized, and corresponding these 2 contacts will be open. So in that way, every run that circuit will be de-energized. Now that bottom circuit, that logical control circuit, is basically contain the different contact. Contact is just you see that will be marked as upper door, and here just I show you that this door, you have to open this door, and you have to place this oil test cell inside that high voltage test setup. So when you are opening this door for placing this test cell, so there is a 2 limit switch which is there. The 2 limit switch will be open. It is not physically shown here, but corresponding when you close the door, that corresponding these two contact will be closes in the control circuit. Okay, so in that way upper door corresponding to contacts will be closed. If the door is closed, then this contact will close. And one contact is corresponding to overcurrent delay, and that is normally excuse me, and that is normally closed. Excuse me. And in that circuit, one switch is, that is for the off switch, and this switch is normally closed. And here you will find out the two opening. This is one opening and this is another opening. This is the opening, means this opening you can close this opening if your variac comes to the zero position. If when your variac comes to the zero position, automatically this point is closed, so this opening will be bypassed through this short circuited path. Okay. And on switch is normally push switch. When you push, then this switch is closed, and corresponding to this contact coil energized. And after energizing this contact coil, automatically this three contact, one contact that will be required for to maintain the continuity in the control circuit, because this is a push switch. Normally when you remove your finger from this switch, that path is open, so that part is basically bypassed through this auxiliary contact. When this contact coil energized, that three simultaneous contact, they are connected, mechanically connected. When this one of the contact is closed, all the contact is closed, and this remaining two contacts are present in the power circuit, so automatically this close. And now for increasing the voltage, you have to change the position of the variac from 0, and this part also opening. So this this path and the on switch path, that will be bypasses through the auxiliary contact. So in that way you can perform the experiment. And just I don't know whether the sir mentioned or not, Shivaji sir and Sisulu sir, the transformer oil is not a homogeneous solution. It contains the different impurities, and impurities are not uniform throughout the transformer oil. So that oils comes between the electrode during that breakdown. If this portion of the oil contain more impurities, so breakdown voltage will be low. If the oil impurities is less, breakdown voltage will be more. So that if the oil is if it is that impurities are uniformly distributed throughout the entire oil, then we have to we can take one reading, and from that reading we can say this is the breakdown voltage of the transformer oil. But here the transformer oil is not a homogeneous solution, so IS 6792 suggests that you have to take 6 reading. You have to take 6 reading, and this is the experimental table. You have to take 6 reading, and among this 6 reading, maybe most of the cases, if the oil is in good condition, you will find that full breakdown voltage. But sometimes due to the presence of more impurities, sometimes you will be get transient breakdown also. Okay, that will come to the latter portion. So this is mainly the schematic circuit of this experiment. In that way, we can generate high voltage, and that high voltage will be applied across the test cell, and gradually you have to increase the voltage, and at certain voltage that gap fires, and overcurrent delay sends that short circuited current and open this contact corresponding to the control circuit. In that way, circuit will be de-energized or tripping is occur. And this is the photograph of the oil test setup. There is the NTPL make high voltage means oil test set, and we can generate maximum 100 kV, and this is the standard cell which contain 300 ml oil. And already sir mentioned that electrode having 12.5 millimeter diameter, and you have to maintain the gap distance between the two electrode 2.5 millimeter. Okay, so that is why we are expressing the dielectric strength in terms of breakdown voltage. But generally, if you want to represent that breakdown strength, after getting that breakdown voltage, if breakdown voltage divided by 2.5 millimeters, so that is basically shows that actual dielectric strength. But this 2.5 millimeter gap spacing is constant throughout our country, so due to that reason, we only mention that breakdown voltage as a breakdown strength. now we come to that procedure. That tab also available in the demonstration app, but that font of the demonstration app is very small. So due to that reasons, I will show you that procedure in this slide. The first, this is the condition. Oil is poured into the test cell and kept for sufficient time for settling and escape of any bubbles. If the bubbles are there, there is a glass rod. First, you have to break down that bubble before starting the experiment. The oil filled cell is carefully transferred in the testing machine, and doors are closed. When the doors are closed, corresponding to this contact are closed. In the machine, high voltage, first you have to, high voltage is switched on. Voltage is slowly increased, and mind that you have to maintain that voltage at certain DVDT rate, because that breakdown phenomena of the oil is basically guided by the DVDT rate. If all of you are performing the experiment with the help of the same experimental setup, but different people are maintaining the different DVDT rates, so for that case, reading will be different. So strictly in this experiment, also in IS 6792, they mentions you have to maintain the DVDT rate 2 kV per second, and also internal circuit is made in such a way when you are increasing the voltage, that DVDT rate should be 2 kV per second. Okay. Full breakdown engages the overcurrent relay and trips the supply, whatever I mentioned previously. If due to impurities, if the impurities is more, different types of impurities there are there, paper, cotton, carbon, acid, already sir mentioned all of these things. Also, sludge is formed. So if the impurities is more, maybe there is a breakdown occur, that breakdown called the transient breakdown, because that impurities partially bridges the two electrodes. So that is why that gap between the electrode is comparatively small, means partially some of the impurities is attached with the electrode, so main gap is reduced. So due to that reasons we get transient spark. But this is the thing, and this is the you can say this is the weak portion of the oil. So when you will get the transient breakdown, so that reading is taken as the complete, means you have to consider that one of the reading from among the 6 reading, if the transient occur. If the transformer oil contain more impurities, means if the transformer oil is more aged, so maybe instead of final breakdown or full breakdown voltage, or you are getting all the breakdown voltage in transient in nature. Okay, just for your general remembering, the general, you have to remember that number of breakdowns should be 6, whether it may be consist of complete breakdown, or whether it may be consist of transient breakdown or final breakdown. Okay, and this is the broader view of the test cell. This is the mushroom type of electrode, but here we have to maintain that tip to tip gap is 2.5 millimeter and gap distance. And just you must see, this is the brass electrode, and that spark is showing like this. When I will show you the video, during that time also you observe this spark. Okay. And transient breakdown is lower intensity. So this is like that, because some of the impurities is attached with some of the electrode, so that gap distance is reduced. So due to that reason, transient breakdown may be occur in particular oil sample test. Okay. Before going to that demonstration with the help of app, just I want to mention some basic rules you have to follow. In 6792 states that whatever I mentioned, that is, you have to increase the voltage at 2 kV per second. Okay. The test cell be carried out 6 times on the same cell filling. For transient breakdown, the reading is taken when the first spark is seen. So this is the complete result table, and this is the average breakdown strength. And mind that this average breakdown strength is equivalent to average breakdown voltage, because we are maintaining that same gap spacing throughout our country. So that is why you do not mention that as a breakdown voltage per unit length. Okay. And what is the inference after getting the average breakdown voltage? A good oil should have average breakdown voltage greater than 40 kV RMS. Okay, average voltage nearer to the 30 kV RMS, which is infers that oil should be filtered, means more impurities are there. First you have to remove the impurities, and again you have to test whether the breakdown strength of this oil is improved or not. If the breakdown strength is not improved, so you have to replace the whole oil, because oil is basically the life of the transformer. So transient breakdown indicates impurities in oil that needs to be filtered. The oil is retested after filtration and treatment if the value does not improve. Okay. So with this, this is the whole explanation of the experiment. And now, one by one, I want to show you that demonstration with the help of virtual lab. I think that virtual lab tab is available. It is visible to you, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, that just we consider that laboratory room. So this is you see, this is the test cell, and this is the experimental test setup. That is the high voltage, means this is basically oil test set. And first, as a setting, already we maintain that gap distance 2.5, but in some other standard they are also maintain that gap distance 4 millimeter. But nowadays that this 2.5 millimeter is fixed. Okay. So we have to accept and back to test, and like previous one, that one variac is comes here. First you have to switch on the circuit. Okay, and gradually you have to increase the voltage by varying this knob of the variac. And okay, now you see that voltage recorded here means that gap fires at 40 kilovolt. Now, if you go to the test result set, so that breakdown voltage is 40 kV. So in that way, you have to perform the uh, 6 times. You have to perform that similar manner, and you have to take 6 readings. And just I want to mention that. In schematic of the experimental setup, always you have to start each run. That variac should be initially that variac should be in 0 position. Okay. There is a check in our control circuit. If the variac is not come to the 0 position, you cannot on the power circuit. But why we connect that variac in 0 position, or why we maintain that variac should be start at initial position? Because after one experimentations, maybe your breakdown voltage you get for previous run, maybe you get that 30 kV. If your variac in that position, so suddenly you switch on, so suddenly this 30 kV voltage applied across the electrode. So maybe in that condition, oil condition is good or bad, but due to the sudden change of high dVdt, oil may break. So you will not get the true reading. So due to that reason, every time, so you increasing the voltage, so your variac first initially comes to the 0 position, and then you have to increase the voltage at a rate 2 kV per second. Okay. Now I want to show you the lab video. Okay, that video is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, just you see, this is the test setup, and this is the power switch. First, you have to switch on. That just you see. First, you have to switch on. Then you have to high voltage is on. Now you have to increase the voltage. Sorry, this is the high voltage on, and now you increase the voltage. You see the reading. Gradually it is increasing. Also you observe the test cell also. Okay, now you see that fire gap breaks, and that is recorded in the memory section. If you press that memory button, you will be get at what voltage that gap breaks. Oh, okay, so this is the in that way, and then you have to decrease that variac positions, and internally it will be comes to the 0 position. Okay, if you do not follow, again I will play this video, just you. Just you see the cell. Okay. So in that way, you have to take 6 readings. And nowadays, different power utilities having this type of test cell that is from Mega, and that is fully motorized. Again, once you start the start button on, and after 6 reading, they will take. They will give you that machine will give you that entire 6 reading by printout form, or it is stored in the memory portion also. Okay, so this is the whole discussions about the how to measure the dielectric strength of the oil, because frequently every utilities, every companies, every substations, every power stations, every utilities having this sort of test cell, because this is the preliminary test for to judge the condition of the oil. Okay. So this is overall discussion about this strength. Now you can freely ask. You have any queries related to this experiment? Any questions? Any doubt? Anything related to theory or experimentations? If you have any doubt, you can freely ask the question.
Sir, when we are testing the breakdown voltage, the
Yeah.
cross section of the electrode, is it affect the test? I mean the reading.
Yes, when we are maintaining that cross section 12 means cross section means diameter 12.5 millimeter to 13 millimeter, and it is just standardized because we want that field is more or less uniform in between the two electrode. Though the surface is spherical or hemispherical, but maintaining that sufficient area, we are maintaining, or uh, just we measure the distance between the two sphere, that is the distance between the two surface center, so that this two tip is basically the tip portion will be equivalent to parallel electrodes. So that is why we have to maintain that sufficient cross section area, so that there will be no such fringing effect, or those, or it doesn't hamper the field distribution. Our consideration is that in between the two electrode, field should be uniform. So that is why we maintain 12.5 millimeter, and this is the optimal one. You can increase the diameter, but this is not the economical. But for uniform field distributions, at least you have to consider that diameter 12.5 millimeter or more. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Any,
sir,
Pawan.
while yes, sir, while measuring the breakdown voltage, how we will get to know that we are measuring the transient breakdown or the real breakdown?
Okay.
Uh, excuse me, yeah, actually, we have one video which shows the transient breakdown.
Okay,
Uh,
Vishendu sir, show the
yeah,
video.
yeah. Then you will understand. Just a minute. I'm sharing it. Huh? Just
And
give me 1 or 2 minutes.
sharing the video just for your information. Our circuit is made like that. After final breakdown, that automatically that power circuit will trip. But after transient breakdown, automatically that gap is regain its 2.5 millimeter gap distance, because after transient breakdown there will be no such impurities attached with the electrode, because transient breakdown is occur basically due to the impurities will be associated with any one of the electrode, and that chain is formed with the electrode. But after transient breakdown, that chain breaks, and automatically that gap holds that 2.5 millimeters. So that is why after transient breakdown there will be no such tripping is there in the power circuit. From that also you can identify. Just you see the video.
Okay, look very carefully. I will repeat it. Now, what is happening? We have started and voltage is increasing. Now, look at this point. Here, you will see a little flash, but the meter will increase. It will not stop. See very carefully. Did you see? I repeat. So the meter increased, but somewhere here, there was a slowly, you see, Now I think it is clearly visible. See, a flash occurred there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but the meter, you see, it is still increasing. Now when final flashover will occur, the meter will trip to 0. See, the tripping sound is there. I repeat, this is the final breakdown. But in between, now you start from beginning and see clearly. Now transient occurred, nothing happened. Now it will be the final breakdown. Yes, these are the two things. I think it is now clear.
And basic logic is behind that. Transient breakdown is occurred due to that some impurities will be attached with any one of the electrode and it reduce the gap. But after occurrence of transient breakdown, then again that chain which is formed with electrode, that breaks and it regain its normal gap distance. So due to that reasons, after transient breakdown, there will be no such trip in the circuit. Tripping is not there. From that also you can easily identify. Also, I think it is clear from the video also. Pawan, any
Yes,
doubt?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any question, please? No questions. Okay. If you have no,
Sir, some
please.
student has some student has asked a question in the chat box.
Okay. Okay. We see.
Yeah, how impurities will affect the breakdown voltage of transformer oil? Very simple. If the impurities increase, the breakdown voltage will slowly reduce. More and more impurities will have more and more transient. For example, you want to take 6 readings. Among them, 5 comes transient. Then the impurities is so much, then you cannot use the transformer oil without filtering.
Also, we mean why we take 6 readings, because that impurities are present in the transformer oil is not uniformly distributed. This is not a homogeneous solution. That is why we took 6 reading. Okay, and also Bishendu sir suggests that if the impurities increases, so your breakdown voltage decreases, and most of the cases, if impurities is more, so among these 6 readings, most of the cases you will find that most of the reading is transient in nature. Okay. Any question?
Sir, this is from the transformer oil. Sir, why should make the temperature above the pour point? Below the pour point also insulating oil will act as an insulator only.
No, but that purpose of the transformer oil, not only the act as an insulator, but it also act as a coolant. Okay, and when the transformer oil is in flow, so it maintains that coolant properties, because uh, heat is generated in the conductor when the current flowing through the transformer winding. That heat is generated, and that heat will be dissipated if the oil is in flow. And at -3 degrees centigrade, if the temperature is below -3 degrees centigrade or -6 degrees centigrade or below the pour point, that oil freezes and it serves the purpose of the oil insulation, but it doesn't act as a coolant. So that's why we have to operate the transformer oil within the pour point and flash point.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bishendu sir, Arijit Pal having one question. Is there any reduction of oil quality after breakdown of oil?
This is very interesting question, I must say. See, how, if you recall, how did you test? You have taken a little portion of oil in the test cell and you
Yes, sir.
have tested it. So no question of disturbing the main oil from the transformer. Now, if you test the oil, we have already told you that this is a liquid, and liquid is a type of self-restoring insulation. That means wherever any bubbles or gaps are created, then the circulating oil will just wash away the vacancy or remove the vacancy, and the oil will be filled as it is just before the time of experiment. So whenever spark occurs, nearest bubbles, gaps, etc. are produced, but these are eventually moved away before the second reading. Actually, if you do the experiment, what is done, there is a glass rod kept within the machine. If you take the first reading, then with the help of glass rod, if you see visible bubbles or etc. there, you just remove it aside from between the sphere gaps. That is very important because spark will take place there, and you can move it aside with the help of that glass rod. In this way, it is done, and for only 6 reading, nothing significant happens to the oil in the test cell. And obviously,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
obviously the main oil is not touched. You are taking just a sample, like your blood sample.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Shravan
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Sir,
You
what
have-
is pilot point, sir? There is a when you were just discussing about plus point, there was a part
Pilot
that
flame,
pilot
pilot flame. Shravan sir,
pilot flame.
flame.
Yes, pilot flame.
Pilot flame means we want to means if there is any flame, in the presence of that flame may oil ignites. But just for your knowledge, when a machine is running condition, during that time no such pilot flame is required, because inside the machine there are always different types, due to different region, always some transient spark is generated inside the machine. So for smooth operation of the transformer oil should be operated below the flash point, because according to the definitions, when that transformer oil reaches that temperature of the flash point, you have to need one pilot flame. Pilot flame means any flame. It may be a spark or it may be a small spark. So in the presence of that small flame, that mixture may ignite. But just for your knowledge, that there will be no such spark is required for a machine is running condition. So due to that reasons, we have to operate that transformer oil below the flash point. I think it is clear, no, Amrita?
Yes, sir. Sir, another one question. Sir, you just said, you and another teacher once just said that there is a circuit tripping. So, is the circuit tripping is also the breaker tripping, or this is both are same?
You can say, okay, Vishendu sir.
Yeah, I didn't get the question
No,
correctly.
that Amrita asked that when the so what do we mean by circuit tripping? Circuit tripping is basically equivalent to when the breakdown occur, a high current is flowing through the power circuit, and that overcurrent relay is designed for, or overcurrent relay setting for a certain specified current. If overcurrent relay sends that sends the current which is more than the specified current, corresponding to the overcurrent relay one contact in the logic circuit or control circuit, that contact initially closed, and after sensing that overcurrent, that contact will open. Okay, and you can say this is the tripping of breaker type of thing, but it is a switch. That switch is normally closed, and after sensing that current by relay, and relay has no such property of breaking. Relay with some say that you can say switch, that together will be act as a tripping arrangement.
I think it is similar in your MCB in your house.
Yes,
Suppose
yes.
some overcurrent or short circuit occurs, MCB trips, and then you restore it, and you start the operation again. This process repeats in the case. Suppose MCB trips 6 times in your oil experiment of 6 reading. Is it clear, or you are asking something else?
No, sir, yes. I was just thinking about this.
Yeah, just tripping of the machine like MCB trip.
Tripping means de-energization of the power circuit.
Yes,
In a
sir.
single word, you can say.
Oh, I have understood. No damage is caused. Nothing will be damaged. only it will just trip and the machine can be restarted again without any damage to the system. Fuse will not blow because so many times you cannot change the fuse of a machine.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have one question.
Please.
Hello.
হ্যাঁ,
স্যার বলছি স্যার এই যে ব্রেকডাউন স্ট্রেন্থটা স্যার কেভি এর উপর নির্ভর করে, তো মানে ট্রান্সফরমার যত বেশি কেভি আর ব্রেকডাউন স্ট্রেন্থটা তত ভালো আছে মানে অয়েলটা।
হ্যাঁ, what is your question?
ওটাই স্যার, মানে এটা কি কেভির উপর নির্ভর করে না যে কোনো অয়েলের ক্ষেত্রে, মানে ট্রান্সফরমারের ক্ষেত্রে তার রেটিং এর উপর নির্ভর করে না, জাস্ট একটা ফিক্সড ভ্যালু আছে?
No. Oil properties is that the transformer oil or mineral oil, when it is used as a insulation, whatever may be the transformer size, maybe this transformer designed for 500 kilovolt, 50 MVA, maybe this transformer designed for 33 kilovolt, say 100 MVA, whatever, irrespective of that transformer rating, this is the pure transformer oil properties, that breakdown strength of the transformer oil, which is generally lies between 30 kV to 60 kV. For new unfiltered oil 30 kV, and after filtration it goes up to 60 kV. But nowadays people are using some types of mineral oil that dielectric strength a little bit higher compared to this, generally in the range of around say 70 to 80 kilovolt. But this is the typical characteristics of the oil. This is not depends on the transformer say rating. Okay.
Okay sir, thank you sir, got it.
Any question? Any of you?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you all. Thank you, Professor Chatterjee.
Thank you,
Noah,
sir.
thank
Thank
you.
you sir.
Yeah, please students, please get prepared for your lab. There will be a lab examination of MCQ type question. So please remember the points we have told here. Okay, don't forget these things after logging out.
And my suggestion is to that whatever the experiment means, whatever in different laboratory explain the different experiment, better for this for your information, first you collect all the instruction sheet. Maybe you are having all instruction sheet, and also if required you can ask for the material, that is the presentation material from the respective teachers also. That will be helpful for your laboratory evaluation. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What's the approximate date?
No. Yet it is not decided. We will inform you. But that is the mode of examination. More or less, it is fixed. That is in the form of MCQ type questions. Evaluation with the help of MCQ type of question.
স্যার এটা কি গুগল ফর্মে হবে?
দেখো, আমি কালকেও বলেছি, আজকেও বলছি, এখন ফাইনালি আমি মানডে কি টুইসডে গেলে তোমাদের ইনফর্ম করতে পারবো, এবং তোমাদের ইনফর্ম করা হবে, তারপরে কিন্তু কোশ্চেনটা পাঠানো হবে।
সেই মানে our target is to let you know that you should prepare, that is all. যেভাবেই হোক তোমাদের মানে পয়েন্ট গুলো মনে রাখতে হবে, এটাই বলছি।
স্যার কোশ্চেন সহজ হবে না কঠিন হবে?
এর উত্তর
যাদবপুরের ছেলেদের কাছে কোশ্চেনটা কোনো কোশ্চেনই কঠিন নয়, এটা আমার বিশ্বাস।
বছরের অভিজ্ঞতা সেই।
আমি কোনো ল্যাব এক্সাম দিইনি তো।
আরে ল্যাবরেটরি ভাইবা দিয়েছো তো, তার চেয়ে এটা তো অনেক সুবিধাজনক।
এমসিকিউ টিক মারবে, তোমাদের কি?
ঠিক আছে
স্যার, এই দুটো পিপিটি পাওয়া যাবে?
সব পিপিটি হ্যাঁ
বিশেন্দু স্যার, পিপিটি এদের সঙ্গে শেয়ার করা যাবে? তুমি যদি আমাকে পাঠাও, আমি তাহলে এদের সঙ্গে শেয়ার করে দেবো পিপিটি।
একটু ইয়ে করে ওই সফটওয়্যারটা বাদ দিয়ে পিডিএফ করে, মানে মেটেরিয়ালটাকে পিডিএফ করে দিতে হবে।
হ্যাঁ, মেটেরিয়ালটা স্যার স্লাইডলি একটু মেটেরিয়ালটা মডিফাই করবে, তারপরে পাঠিয়ে দেবো। রোহিত আর ওই সেকশনে কে আছে যেন, নামটা ভুলে যাচ্ছি, তারা আমাকে একটু মেল পাঠিয়ে রেখো, আমি সেখানেই রিটার্ন করবো। ঠিক আছে? আমি যদিও জানি তোমাদের মেল আইডি।
আমাকে একটু কাল রাত্রে অবধি টাইম লাগবে, এটাকে রিসেট করে নেব পয়েন্টগুলো।
ঠিক আছে, পাঠিয়ে দেবো, তোমাদের চিন্তা কিছু নেই। ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ।
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
Okay sir, thank you sir.
থ্যাংক ইউ।
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
Thank you, sir.
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।